time to make a pepper mill.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wolfridge Woodworking. I am so happy that you're able to join me today. So as I said in the intro, we do have to get rid of this, and actually this is not for me, this pepper mill, it's for somebody else, but I just thought that was a cool intro. But anyway, so we do need to make a pepper mill. So what I've got here is, actually my cousin wanted to see if I could make her a matching salt shaker pepper mill combo. So that's what we've got here. So I already turned the salt shaker, and what this was actually salt shaker pepper mill combo that I just used the top components because I couldn't find a top in the brushed brass that the pepper mill was in. So anyway, long story short, I made it work and had to adapt it. But I really like this shape. So I've got another piece here of kiln dried cherry that's about 6 inches tall. And so I am going to make a pepper mill and try my best to make it match this, okay? So going to be using some new tools here and some new skills that the first time I did it was on here. And so I did use a oval skew to do a little bit of skew work. Not as easy as it looks on YouTube videos. Much respect to people that can do it well. And then I used a spindle gouge. So going to be using a little bit of that. I won't do the whole thing in that, but I do believe that practice makes perfect. So let's get this baby mounted to the lathe and let's get this thing turned. So the first thing that we need to do is mark center on the blank on both sides. So the trick here when you're using this type of jig is to keep going round. You'll see what I mean in a second. So what you wind up with is something similar to this, where you have various lines, and you just find the center between all of those lines, and that's the actual center, because sometimes the blank's not square. So that's a good way of finding square. So just going to mark the other side. Then what I like to do is just come in with a center punch and go in and knock that center punch in. Okay, and that'll help us line up when we're putting this between centers. All right, so I'm just going to bring up the tailstock to get it centered before I tighten down on it. And now I'll tighten down on it. And it's okay if it damages on the outside because we're going to turn most of that away. And then we'll just move this out of the way. And then when we do our drill bits, we're just going to make sure the drill bit starts there. I know that may not be the best way, but it worked on the salt shaker perfectly. So I'm hoping to have repeated results. Okay, so I've got my drill chuck mounted in the headstock, and this is that jam chuck I was talking about. It's basically just like a rubberized neoprene kind of sleeve on a nut that when you tighten it expands. So we should be able to get that on like that. So then all we got to do is, I like to get it a little more even, and then we just tighten the nut up. And it should get the friction fit in there. And it holds it really well. Okay, it feels pretty tight. So then we just put our 60-degree center in, lock it into place, and we are ready to turn. All right, so looks like I still need some practice with the chuck, or with the skew. I took a little bit of a chunk out right here, but I think it'll be okay. It should be kind of where I bring this down a bit, a little bit here, a little bit there, but I'll fix those up with the rough and gouge. But anyway, so I still need a little bit more practice with that, but that was good. But where I did it, it did it really well. It did a really clean finish. So anyway, just need more practice. Alrighty, so that's I'm really happy with the way it came out. It's really close to the other one, maybe not exactly, but it's close enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it from 80 up to 600, hit it with the sanding sealer, Axe abrasive paste, Axe polishing paste. We're going to put some walnut oil on the inside here, and then we'll attach the grinding mechanism. This project will be almost done. All right, so that looks good. Look at that finish. Really happy with that. You know, one thing I do like to do with these burn-in lines is I do like to turn the lathe just down a little bit and then just put this in there, clean any gunk out so you get a nice crisp line. Then we'll just hit it again with the rag, get off any excess. And there, look at that. Look at that. That's the black stuff that came out of it. So anyway, just a little bit of a tidbit that I like to do is just to get those black lines clean again. So, all right, so let's get this thing off the lathe. All right, so all you got to do is take some sandpaper. I'm using this, a braid net, but you can just take a sheet of sandpaper. I'm starting at 80, going to go up to 600. Just lay it flat and just run it back and forth. I like to twist it every now and then just to make sure I'm not going to get any low spots. But just keep running that until you get the finish you want, and then go to the next piece. So I'm not going to bore you with watching me do this. I'm going to check back with me here in just a second, and I'll have it all sanded, have the Axe abrasive paste and Axe restoring polish on it, and then we'll be ready to mount the top. So now what we need to do is just center this on the top here, and then mark our holes. Drill a 5/16 inch hole, just a little bit, and then we're going to use these screws. Now, it's a little bit of a challenge because they're in there at an angle. Well, not in there at an angle, but you have to get them at an angle because of the top here. So I'm just going to try to get this centered, and I've got my calipers here to try to help me get this centered. And then we'll just get this drilled, pre-drilled, and then we will see about getting it finished up. Be very careful, it's a very small bit. All right, so we're going to try to get one in there, and then trying to get the other one in. All right, I'm going to take this off real quick because I need to put some oil in here, and I may go ahead and put these screws in there like this just to get them so it's easier to put them in. But anyway, first things first, we need to get some oil down into the center. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. I got to use that skew chisel. Still need some more practice on it, but I really liked where I didn't mess up the wood, where it left a really good finish. And then also with the the spindle gouge, you know, that was again one of the first times I've done that, and I think they look good. They are slightly different, but the theme is there. So this one's is more curvy, where this one's got some curves, but they're more muted. But I do think they look good together. I'm curious, kind of what do you think? Do you like that combination? So yeah, so that's going to wrap it up today. If you did like this project, you know, give me that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. But you know, tell me why you didn't like it. Just don't give it a thumbs down and be on your merry way. Let me know so that I can improve. So that's going to do it. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. If this is your first time here and you want to see other projects, click down here. If you want to become a subscriber, click up here, click that bell so that you're notified when I upload a new video. And as always, I wish you and your family a blessed day. Thank you.